For decades, people have known about and have played the HeroQuest quest packs Return of the Witchlord and Keller's Keep, perhaps in their classic editions as shown here, or perhaps as contemporaries to Avalon Hill's 2021 HeroQuest. One thing that many people, myself included, have always wished for was for a third quest pack in this order. These are regarded by many as the de facto Greenskin and Undead quest packs. Where is our Chaos quest pack? Where is our US version of the Dark Company? Here, I finally have your answer. HeroQuest, the Dark Company, is a redesign of the classic and exclusive quest that only came with HeroQuest Advanced Quest Edition. This quest pack was created by Hispazargon and is available for free now. I was blessed beyond measure to receive this beautiful physical presentation as a gift from Hispazargon, for which I am very grateful because it emulates the classic style of the HeroQuest quest packs beautifully and very faithfully. It is easy to see the inspiration as well as the integrity of the emulation here in box design. Everything down to attributions to companies that no longer exist, to all of the same box design rules that would have been followed had this been released in the US at the same time as Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord. Let us move to unboxing this quest pack to see what all it contains. The box itself does give us a hint. There is one advanced quest inside. It is not a game in itself. This quest pack is an expansion set for your HeroQuest game system. The back of the box follows suit with this incredible reproduction of what could have been, giving us all of the applicable copyrights in this alternative universe, and differing really in no way, except to give us the credit that this is a redesign of the classic Dark Company quest, as well as a note that this is a nostalgic fan-made creation shared for free, for private use only. Selling this work in total or partial is not authorized by its authors in any format. This will be the finest condition expansion that I will have of this box size and format. Thoughtfulness was put into every square centimeter of this unboxing and this presentation for this item. It pays immense respect to the HeroQuest of yesteryear, and I feel particularly spoiled to get a personalized note sealed with wax from none other than Hispazargon himself. This is something that I will actually cherish. Our HeroQuest The Dark Company quest book contains absolutely no AI art. The art is actually original, not taken from any other Games Workshop products. The book itself is, as you would expect, stylized in the manner of the US-released basic expansions, not the exclusive expansions such as the Frozen Horror or Mage of the Mirror. And we have an alchemist's shop right here on the front page, as well as a quick and faithful introduction to what the Dark Company actually is. Of course, the Dark Company is included in the European Advanced Quest edition of the classic HeroQuest game, but it is adapted here to the classic American game system, which means that it will also be compatible with the contemporary rule set of the HeroQuest of now. This does come with 1 Gargoyle, 1 Chaos Warlock, 4 Chaos Warriors, and 6 Dark Warriors armed with 4 different weapons, 3 of each type. And the monster assembly for the Dark Warriors is necessary. You will have to take your Men-at-Arms model and combine it with the Scout, Halberdier, Swordsman, or Crossbowman specific weaponry. This is not just a repeat of the Dark Company quest, however. We have new tiles representing the corridor area, the warehouse room, and the shrine room, as well as a faithful note giving us instruction that the smaller illustrations shown with each component above are quest map symbol references. This is the result of years of labor from Hispazargon and is a well and thoroughly play-tested experience, so the changes that are made to the quest are not just due to the considerations made for the enhanced monster stats. In other words, the having more than 1 body point for each monster in the quest that you're going to encounter, and thus automatically delivering a higher difficulty experience, but also for the total enjoyment for the players of this game. As such, the book warns you that this quest is only recommended to be played by well-equipped heroes. The heroes should have at least played the quests of the game system before. It contains the rule clarifications of passing items, spiral stairway, which just specifies that if the spiral stairway is used as the exit at the end of a quest, any hero who moves on to it is immediately removed from the game board. Multiple attacks, selling excess items, the alchemist's shop and armory, and, most notoriously of all, between levels, which tells you that all levels take place during the same quest, so heroes do not return to full strength between levels. All their body and mind points are not restored, nor can the wizard or elf replenish their spells. All the Chaos Warriors found in this adventure are members of Zargon's elite regiment, the Doom Guard. Their statistics can be found in the monster chart on page 19. We continue to talk about Dark Warriors, who are an elite group of Imperial men-at-arms who have succumbed to darkness under the orders of traitor Hinsgrim, forming the core ranks of the Dark Company. Wandering Monsters, the wandering monster in all levels of this quest is one Dark Warrior, but to determine how the wandering monster is armed, Zargon must roll one red die and place the corresponding Dark Warrior onto the board according to the following list, with rolling a 1 giving you a crossbowman, a 2 or 3 a scout, a 4 or 5 a halberdier, and a 6 a swordsman. Shrine, which represents a room where heroes can meditate to obtain mystic help. Warehouse, which represents a cursed old warehouse, where a hero can fall into a wasting sleep. And the fascinating character of Vadim Gorfell. Vadim Gorfell's spirit is an incorporeal ghost hosted in the body of a zombie who will always try to pursue and attack the heroes. If Vadim is attacked, he must roll his defend dice, but he cannot take any damage from regular weapons. If Vadim is attacked by an artifact weapon and he does not roll enough black shields to fully block the attack, he does not take any damage either, but he is stunned until Zargon's turn begins. You may lay his figure down onto his square to show being stunned. Vadim may only be actually hurt if attacked by casting spells which inflict body damage like Ball of Flame, Fire of Wrath, or Genie. There are new artifact cards, including the Magical Quarrel, the Ring of Brilliance, the Magic Scroll of Spells, the Spell Scrolls, which make up the 7 remaining artifact cards, and of course can be used by any hero. And the best rule in all of HeroQuest: while this book is your guide to running this adventure, it may not answer every question you have during play. When in doubt, use your experience and imagination to make the best choice. Our story begins, and to those enjoyers of the Advanced Quest exclusive Dark Company, it will be familiar, perhaps even nostalgic. Sometime in the past, in the Imperial Grand Palace, the Emperor gazed at the assembled lords as he listened to the man crouched before him. They stood impatiently, looking intently upon the frail figure, their eyes filling with rage as the story unfolded. They were restless, uncomfortable at hearing of such treachery. "Listen not to this poison, my lord." "Silence!" the Emperor's voice echoed angrily across the vaulted hall. "Teor, though it wounds our hearts, these words we must all hear." The Emperor turned again to the man before him. "Please continue." Eshlil looked nervously about him. He glanced again at the Emperor before continuing, his voice low and uncertain. "Thus I served with Hinsgrim. I have stood within the ranks of the Dark Company, and there could be no mistake. Hinsgrim have succumbed to darkness. He and his men have sworn allegiance to chaos. The captain of your elite guard is your would-be assassin." No one dared speak. Many wished to cut Eshlil down, as though this would redeem their dead companion, refute this lie. Yet the spy's words has rung true. The Emperor gathered his robe and stood before his council. "This is a sad day for us all. I have watched Hinsgrim fall from honor. Mentor warned us of this, yet we have been too slow. Hinsgrim has fled beneath the old city, along with the Dark Company. The task falls to you, my lords, to find heroes that can purge us of this evil. By your leave, my lord, give me but 1 legion, and I shall lead an assault that will rid you of these scum." "I want no more of my lords turned against me, Lorik. You are a brave knight, but neither you nor your warriors can beat this evil. Find me the men I need. Bring to me warriors, men of stout heart, champions. The Dark Company must be destroyed. I want Hinsgrim dead." We will now turn to level 1 of the quest. Now at this point, you've no doubt seen the Expand Your HeroQuest game system advertisement for the Wizard Quest pack. The adventure continues, and this is thought to be available in 2026, and looks to be, again, an extremely faithful, years-long project to bring back the Wizard Quest pack based on the notes, likely in possession by Lucas Paci, and containing all of the miniatures that would have been part of that production process, including the 4 Wizards of Morcar from the EU and UK expansion, and also introducing Minotaur sculpts and several others. We move forward to show the room tiles that will be compatible perfectly with our classic HeroQuest board, as well as our blocked wall and secret door and staircase tiles. These are not double-sided, however, there is another page half here to show with the larger corridor tile, And this will likely be able to be placed in a number of places, not just one baked in place on the board. We have also a set of 15 cards, 5 monster cards, and 10 alternative artifact cards. So here are our spell scrolls for Sleep and Genie, Swift Wind, Rockskin, Passive Rock, Water of Healing, Veil of Mist, as well as the Magic Scroll of Spells and the Magical Quarrel and the Ring of Brilliance. These have a matte, untextured finish on one side and a very papery finish on the other. They feel like they are a product of the time in which this expansion should have been released. The Dark Warrior, Scout, Swordsman, Halberdier, and Crossbowman, followed by the Doom Guard, line out all of these special versions of enemies that we will encounter in this doomed quest. But that's not all. We also have miniatures that, for a blessing, seem to have been SLA printed and were completely cured, based absolutely on the old designs of the Milton Bradley, Games Workshop, Citadel, men-at-arms that would have been included with a couple of the releases from back then. In the US, we got these guys with the Frozen Horror. In the UK and EU, they came with Wizards of Morcar. They are sculpted to have the holes in their torsos so that you may interchangeably place the weapons and have different configurations of this approaching monster group. I will say that the weapons are a bit fiddly. They're not as snug as the injection molded plastic weapons, but they're not going to fall out on their own, not unless you tip the miniatures upside down. We have also our Chaos Warriors and Chaos Sorcerer. Very close replicas to the originals. Finally, we have our Gargoyle in its classical 3 pieces, head, wings, and body. Head fitting on decidedly much more snug than the Men-at-Arms weapons, or Dark Company rather, Doomguard, and body needing to be filed out a little bit before I can make a proper fit. Still, a welcome addition and one that this expansion would be remiss not to include, because this would be an excellent and, quite honestly, the perfect gray expansion. Now, I would love to see something like this released for the contemporary HeroQuest by Avalon Hill. I think that this would be the perfect way to do it. The artifact cards in the back are baked into the last page, so you can cut these out if you are so inclined. We have credits here, and I think that it's very important to go ahead and show these so you can see all of the names that were involved with this massive and ambitious and just awesome project. The author and editor of this project was Hispazargon, New Quest Maps First Concept, Poncho from the Old Inn, fixes to original quest and rules, monster stat, difficulty, balancing, story, narrative, digital author of Alchemist Shop artwork, potion, gold costs, and their rules design, new tile artworks, Hispazargon, with the help of Aaron 2 from Board Game Geek for the Shrine Room. Artist, author of original cover art, Doomguard card art, and new artifacts card art, all commissioned for this specific project, used with permission, Alberto Macari, The Mall. Playtesters include people from the HeroQuest fans Discord and Twitch servers, Kurgan, Jace, Elviler, Nightbird, Yesman, Angus McBain, and Hispazargon himself. Suggestions from Kurgan and Lestodante. There are some other indirect collaborators, Luca Pasci and Eudosio, being names that are familiar to me. Daedalus, of course, also. This quest is intended to be played using original miniature. However, nice 3D model proxies created by Pecco and Carl Bark may be found on the website thingiverse.com. And then, of course, the rest of this work by Hispazargon is openly licensed under 2025 CC BY NC-ND 4.0. This is the Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. All files of this project are available in English and Spanish. And this beautiful disclaimer line here, no generative AI software has been used in this project. I love to see that. Now, if this were licensed such that I were able to buy this commercially, I would buy this commercially for probably more than a fair price. And it just goes to show that you don't need to have AI slop in your project to make a beautiful, stunning project. Yes, I'm aware that this was made with primarily pre-made assets, but it was still done with a lot of care and a lot of time and a lot of effort put into the project. I will not be comparing the new versions of this quest with the old version in this video. Right here, I just want to show you the level 1 of this quest and the flavor text that introduces you to this level, because we are absent this text level to level in the original version of the quest on account of it being a 13-part super quest. but the spirit of the quest will have remained faithfully intact, as well as the wandering monsters. Here, I don't want to spoil the end of the quest or the contents of quests levels 2 through 4. However, I did want to call a lot of attention to the designer's notes booklet. The Dark Company, redesigned by Hispazargon, does come with this wonderfully insightful book, which is amazingly detailed and very thorough. This is one of the most impressive publications having to do with HeroQuest by a third-party homebrew author that I have seen. This basically gives you the real account of all of the decisions made, why they were made, and I think that this would be an invaluable resource to any other homebrew creator, even and perhaps especially those who have already put out homebrew, because there is a wealth of information here that could absolutely help someone design their quests and take special consideration to different decisions made throughout the process of creating not just your own quest, but your own campaign. And I say that in spite of this being based on an existing quest, because arguably it can be just as much of a challenge to adopt an existing quest to a slightly different rule set and maintain that balance, that flavor, that theme, and that intent. This gives credit where credit is due, attributing the most famous adaptation, possibly very first, of the Dark Company to the classic American game system, published in 2008 by HeroQuest specialist and legend Phoenix. But after all the journey and the changes and twists and turns of the project in other hands, not this project specifically, but a version of the project of converting the Dark Company Hispazargon shares here, finally, you have my very personal version of the Dark Company to be played with classic American game system rules. I actively started to work on this project the 16th of October of 2022, so it took me around 3 years having it finished. Then, I really wish you a lot of great games using it. I am exceedingly humbled by this gift, and I want to extend a thank you to Hispazargon, as well as everyone who helped him realize this dream, this goal of creating a top-notch, faithful, thoughtful, and very deliberate expansion conversion to bring this to as many players as possible. This is a treasure, exceeding that of drawing the 500 gold piece treasure card. And as I've said, it will be one that sits permanently on my shelf. Thank you, Hispazargon. And thank you to everybody who watches this channel, who comments, who supports in any way, because it's because of you guys that my channel would receive any consideration such as this to begin with. This one's for the viewers. Now, go in the description below and get the links and download this stuff for free so that you can enjoy this also. And let me know your experiences as you are playing. Come back to this video, comment down below, or just join the Discord and tell me your experiences as you are playing through. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next exciting adventure. Until then, brave heroes, farewell for now and onward.